A very good evening to you. Thanks for joining us on the Thursday edition of the show. It promises to be exciting as always. And yeah, me, Debayo. Well, today is the day that we've been expecting. Of course, it marks the start of the 2026 Commonwealth Games with the opening ceremony on the way. We'll also talk about the events happening. Of course, talking about the Women's African Cup of Nations, the declarations by CAF, and a whole lot, all for you on the show tonight. Let me quickly introduce our guest with us in the Lagos studio. Bolo Money joins us on the show tonight. Bolo, greetings to you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show.
Good evening, good to be again. Just first time here since the end of the FIFA World Cup, and we are not resting. The Commonwealth Games starts immediately, and in case you forgot it, the Women African Cup of Nations also start this weekend. If you are not a sport fan, well, you are missing a whole lot because from the Mundial to the 23rd edition of the Commonwealth Games and the greatest team on the African scene, Super Falcons, will kick off this weekend.
All right, it's going to be very, very interesting as we take a look at some of those issues. But first, I think I've asked you this question before, but before we go into everything, I mean, your expectations for the Commonwealth Games?
We've had situations where everything never worked out well leading into the tournament. There's one problem, there's one chaos, there's one jersey or kit problem here and there, but it's a different scenario this time around. The athletes are talking well, the camping was good, the kits they got them in bags. Everything is working well. It means they have the opportunity or the chance to even do more. Incidentally, our athletes are doing well getting into this tournament. Koinsala Jai hitting numbers. We have Toby Amushon hitting personal best this year 3 different times the same number. So everything is working out well. Unfortunately, Brume can't compete due to an injury she picked up. But for others, they are preparing well. They are hitting good form. We hope the stage doesn't swallow them at the end of the day. If they continue with the form they are coming up with from the Diamond League, the national trials, everything, I believe our guys should do well to win more medals. The only issue of the but was the Favor Onya story. There was a story that she said, oh, she competed, she qualified from the trials, but her name was omitted. But I saw a list of athletes and I saw her name there. So I want to believe it's miscommunication. But for the competition itself, I wish Nigeria well. I think and I believe they'll probably come with more medals than they did the last time in Birmingham.
All right. Okay, so let's quickly bring in our guest who joins us virtually, a man who needs little or no introduction. He wears a hat that has many feathers. Let me just quickly bring on Mr. Darius. So good to see you. Thanks for finding time to be with us on the show tonight.
And I'm looking for the feathers. I can't see one.
All right. I mean, same question I asked Bolu before we take a look at all the things. I want to ask you your expectations or what you think should be the objective going into the Commonwealth Games.
The objective is simple. It's just to get our best performance ever. I remember 4 years ago, that was the objective, and we did achieve that. So I think this year, we are going to achieve it again, going by, on paper anyway, going by the caliber of athletes that we have this time around. We are going to win medals. When I say medals now, I'm talking about gold. We are going to win gold that we've never won before in the history of the Games.
Okay, let me also ask you, I'm tempted to ask you this. I've asked you about the objective. Are there any bots? Bolu talked about maybe a few dark spots here and there. Are there any dark spots concerning our preparation and concerning how we have set ourselves going into this competition? Is there any bots? Are there any bots for you?
I don't think so. The Fivoya story that he mentioned, I think the girl is being economical with the truth because there were apprehension about 3-4 weeks ago about the athletes coming down to Africa or Europe, so to say, leaving their bases in the US because of this visa issue, you know, the Trump proclamations and all that. But the NSC was able to have a chat with them at the US Embassy, and I think everything has been sorted. So that's why you could see Commissioner Jai coming here, Temitope Jai coming here, because ordinarily they were scared of coming home because they don't want to come home and not be able to go back again. So that was the same issue that Onya had. And unfortunately, maybe that's where the communication now comes in. The assurance didn't come early. And so she wasn't left out deliberately. I think it has to do with communication gap, but we also know that the real issue was the visa fear that they had initially.
All right, let's quickly take a look at the events Team Nigeria will participate in right there in Glasgow. All right, I'm going to go across, but pictures on your screen showing you Team Nigeria athletes and officials as they settle in for the 2026 Commonwealth Games. And everything we've been hearing so far has been good, just like Bolu said, and Darius has also confirmed the vibes are good. All right, on your screen, all for you, Team Nigeria sport events. The events Team Nigeria will be participating in 300 basketball. You have athletics, judo, para-powerlifting, track cycling, 300 wheelchair basketball. You have boxing, para-athletics, swimming, and weightlifting. These are the events Team Nigeria will be participating in, all right? And let's also see Team Nigeria athletes listed for the events that we've already mentioned, all right? So there you have it. You have Team Nigeria cyclists for track cycling, Tijani Oyidamola, male. Team Nigeria competed in 300 basketball, Marcel Nwamu Ikechukwu, Okundaye Esoza, Ukauba Robert, males in 300 basketball. We have other names that will come up on your screen. Team Nigeria judokas competing in judo, Ekuta Enku, female, Agbo Michael, male, Aremu Kende, and of course, Aremu Taiwo. All right, those are the people in judo. Team Nigeria swimmers competing in swimming, Oka Dorcas, Adama Abdul-Jabbar, you have Binga Collins, Obi, Opute Clinton. Those are the names that you should watch out for. Will be carrying Nigeria's flag high, will be representing Nigeria in Glasgow. Team Nigeria powerlifters, Ferdinand Rita, Nwogu Esther, Owolabi, Oluwafemi Ayo, Alice, Oyema Esther, Idris Rilwan, Dauda Ibrahim, Zurike Roland. And these names are quite familiar. We're used to them now, and a lot of people are banking on them to swell up Team Nigeria's medal haul. Team Nigeria boxers for boxing, Ajishola Khadijat, female, Mbata Patricia, female, Arakwe Blessing, female, Abdul Wahab Abdul Rahman, male, Foley Ayomide, and you have Akintola David, male as well. 6 boxers in there for Team Nigeria. Team Nigeria athletes competing in para-athletics, Agbo Destinies, Iazi Okeria, you have Wachiku Goodness, Huak Christopher, Christian Ifeanyi. Those are the guys competing in that. Let's move over and talk about Team Nigeria weightlifters at the Commonwealth Games. Ayodele Root, Onome is in there as well. Lawal Rafiatu, Studio Mary, Agboro Favor, Okpadeji Adedapo, Umafia Edidong. These are the weightlifters will be expecting to pick medals from these ones. All right. Also, these are the athletes that will be representing Nigeria. All right. So let me quickly go to Dari and ask. Let's just go back to the events that Team Nigeria will be participating. Thank you very much, guys. And Dari, I want to quickly ask you this. If you were looking at a medal haul, where do you think those medals will come from? And maybe can you tell us the number you think we could get based on your knowledge of our strengths and weaknesses in these sporting events?
Well, this is a tough one, but because this is a championship, like games rather, you don't use paper permutation.
Yeah.
But if you want to go by that, and if you also want to go by the fact that traditionally, and going by what has happened in the last few Commonwealth Games, especially when they brought in the para events into the main Commonwealth Games. We've always done well in the para events, especially the powerlifting, because I saw Oluwafemi Ayo there. I don't know who can beat her, even in the world, not to talk about Commonwealth. So we're going to do well there. So I see a lot of gold medals. It's not just about the total number of medals. It's actually the gold medals that counts, because that is what is going to determine your position. And the National Sport Commission has said they're targeting a minimum of 20 gold medals. When you look at that, you want to think, come on, are they joking? Because the best we won, I think, was 12. So adding 8 more will look like you are making something out of nothing. But I think it is achievable. Like I said, when you look at the powerlifting and the weightlifting, traditionally that's why we get medals. Then in track and field, especially going by what happened 4 years ago, because in track and field we've never really won up to 4 gold medals before, until 4 years ago when we won 5. And going by the quality of athletes we now have in track and field this time around, the AFN is targeting 7, but I think we can get more than 7. So that means that 20 gold medals is achievable if you combine that with the powerlifting and the weightlifting. Unfortunately, wrestling is not there, because wrestling is another event that gives us gold medals in major international events. Wrestling is not there this time around, so but that will not reduce the number that we are going to get. So I think that 20 gold medals target set by the National Sport Commission, I said it's achievable.
All right, it's doable. Okay, Bolu, I mean, let me get your thoughts. What level of performance would suit you, or what level of performance would you say, yes, I'm satisfied with this? I know, a lot of people are at variance with what they think should be the objective of this Commonwealth Games. We can argue that all day long, but we are where we are. This is the position we're in. So looking at what we are taking to Glasgow, what do you think we will get from there, and what kind of performance would you come out and start, hailing Team Nigeria?
Well, let me pick 2 things from what Darius said. First of all, wrestling. Wrestling is painful. I always have this confidence, even at the Olympics, wrestling. Go, girls, especially the women, that they would always bring up something for us. And I like it when you set a mandate. It may be achievable, it may not be. But at least, like what Commissioner said, come with a minimum of 20 gold medals. So that way you know what your target is. But gold is the most important thing. You can have 2,000 medals. 1 gold medal, 1 million, whatever. It is the gold medal that will determine your position on the table. But for me, we are looking at athletics. That is where we are thriving. Our athletes compete with the best in the world. The Commonwealth Games, some of the major stars are not coming. So it gives us even opportunity to win gold medals and elect. Anything less than gold for Tobiloba Motion, based on her level and standard, will be seen as not good enough. Even if she wins silver, winning silver is good. Winning bronze, at least you finish on the podium. But because of the bar she has raised for herself at that level, people will think anything less than gold medal is not good enough. Go across board. All the para-athletes, Nigeria Paralympic Games, always come up with gold medals and more. Then this is the Commonwealth Games, especially Oluwafemi Ayo. You expect gold medals to come for. So to an extent, I agree with the Sports Commission. Again, it is not a do or die. It's a target. That, this is the target we are setting for you. But my take at any event is always, for events that have semi-final and elect, when you get to semi-final of any tournament, I think you've done well. So bringing it to the Commonwealth Games, if you can make the podium, you've done well to an extent. Then the target, I agree with them. Let's see if we can come home with at least 20 gold medals. Who say we can't do much more than that?
All right. I know it's going to be very difficult for all of us to agree on the yardstick to determine success or otherwise at this Commonwealth Games. But I know everybody loves victories, and I'm wishing Team Nigeria all the best. I asked this question earlier, and I'm going to ask Dari again, with regards to preparations and the expectations that's, coming from the sports ministry. Do you think they match? What you have put in, do you think is realistic enough to expect, 20 gold medals, and why do you think so?
Yeah, I think we are good to go, because the days of having people in camp for 2-3 months, those days are gone. For example, it depends on the number, the quality of athletes you want to use and where they come from. It's just like football. The days of getting 2 months, 3 months to prepare a football team is gone because they play for their different clubs. The same thing is happening to our athletes. Most of them are from colleges in the US, and they can't be free until after the NCAA Outdoor Championships. And so you have to also factor in that. And after the NCAA Championship, you've got to give them like 3 weeks to also rest because they've had a long season from indoor to outdoor. So I think in terms of preparation, and what is actually preparation? Because if you win gold and you run 984, it's on me. What preparation again are you looking for? And so the days of, oh, let's open camp, for me, is irrelevant. People don't open camp unnecessarily now. Let the athletes go and compete, and we'll measure their performance. The only time you actually need them in camp is to come and do relay training. Because first of all, it's an individual sport, it's a professional sport. So they are different coaches. So they have to be with their coaches. But in those days, you camp all of them together, then you now bring in a coach that will now start teaching them what is not. Those days are gone. So in terms of preparation for me is top notch. And in terms of expectation, you can't have somebody running 984, the fastest coming to the Commonwealth Games, or for the athletes in the Commonwealth Games, because the fastest in the world is not going to be there. Seville is not going to be there. But the other ones that are there is the fastest. So if you look at unless there is a miracle, I don't see Koyisola losing that gold. And that will be the first time Nigeria will win the 100 meters gold in Commonwealth Games history. In fact, the first time, I think in 20 years, that we will win a medal if he wins. Because the last time we won a medal was in 2006 when Fasuba won the silver behind Asava Power. The same thing is going to happen in 400 meters. We've never won a gold medal at the Commonwealth Games in 400 meters. I think the last time we also won was when Bada won. I can't remember the year, maybe 1994. That was as far back as midnight. I think it was 1994 when Bada won either silver or bronze. So we've never, but this time around, we have an athlete who, as we are talking now, is the fastest in the world. So between the last time around in the US and now, I don't know what has happened. But if it is that top shape, I think it's going to be unbeatable. But there will be competitions for him, really. Although some of the best in the world are not also coming. For example, the world champion is not coming to represent Botswana. It's another person that's representing Botswana. But there are real competitions coming from especially South Africa, and I think, is it Canada? No, not Canada. Where Morale Williams comes from, I think Britain. So there will be competition. But for someone who's been running 43 consistently, I don't think, unless he has lost form, which I don't think so. So when you look at there's bits like that, you want to agree that there is no way Ogasi can lose the 400 meters gold. There is no way Ajayi can lose the 400 meters gold. Of course, Amuson cannot lose. Because the only person who has beaten Amuson this year is an American. And she's not going to be there. The rest, Amuson will. Even if the American is there, because we're talking about the championship. After all, the American was at the World Championship last year. She didn't win any medal. So at the championship, it's a different bottle of, what do they call it now? It's a different matter entirely when it comes to a championship of this nature. It's a game, but at least you're going to run rounds. So when you look at it, and confidently you can say, oh, in track and field, adding the relays to it, and adding maybe an equity to it. An equity because the person that has always given an equity problem is the New Zealander, Tom Walsh. But this year alone, they've met 6 times, and equity has won 4 times. In fact, 4 of their last 5 meetings. So what that means is that White Walsh, who is just a year older than our own Enekwechi, seems to be having a dinner with old Father Time. Enekwechi is going stronger. So Enekwechi might win the 400 meter, the shot put goal this time around. So then there's the decathlon guy. I'm not too sure gold can come from there, but you never can tell because he's also in the mix. Because there is a 50-50 situation. So when you have 50-50 situation, it can go either way. But there are 100% situation unless there is a miracle and we can get like 4 gold medals from there. That's the 100%. Then you cannot have the 50-50. Then you can be talking about 6, 7, 8, or 9 gold from track and field. And by the time you add that to what's going to come from the power lifters and the weight lifters, the cycling, the basketball, I'm not too sure of those ones because they've not really proved that they are world beaters, or let me put it this way, Commonwealth beaters.
Yeah.
Because we're actually competing against Commonwealth nations, not the world.
All right. We need to go on a break right about now. Darius will still be with us. We'll go on that break. We'll return for more Sports Tonight. Welcome back. We're still here talking the Commonwealth Games and expectations from Team Nigeria. And of course, Darius is still with us, the man that's wearing a hat that has many feathers. And of course, we have been, drinking from his well of knowledge. Darius, before we let you go on the show, just one more question. And I mean, I want to ask, with all the things you've said, and if it turns out to be so, and we win all of those medals plus the 50-50 and all of that, how much of a benefit will it be for us looking ahead to the Olympics?
I think it will be a huge one. The fact that they are actually together is a blessing already, because you need to start keeping them together now and focusing on their preparation. Fine, you can't be involved in their preparation because some of them are still in school. Then some of them are already professionals. They'll be running all over the world. So what you just need to do is keep a close tab on them and give them what they require, because that's all you need. The era of camping is gone, like I said earlier. Just give them what they need. But now that they've come together, the bonding will start, and the Olympics is just 2 years away from now. So I think they've already scored a victory by getting majority of them to be here. Maybe apart from Oya, who else is not here? Apart from Oya, and Oya is relatively new. Let me just say it's only this year that he's having a breakout season. So Oya last year, you won't be talking about Oya. So and there will still be maybe about 2 or 3 more that will come up maybe next year. So that by the time you put them together, our relays will be very strong. Then the individuals, because as it is now, August is on top of the world, whether you like it or not. So what we only pray for is, 1, for him to be healthy, and 2, for him to be consistent. You know, when you are consistent, it's done 43 now. Who says he cannot do 42? So I'm sure a lot of them all over the world are afraid of him now. Even the world champion must be afraid of him. That is number 1. Then Toby, maybe I will have issues with Toby. 29 now, 31 in 2028. I really can't say. And unfortunately, if Toby is off the screen for us, the 100 meters hurdles is for now off the screen. I won't say forever, because in the past, we've always been producing good high hurdlers. I remember when Gloria Luze was there, it was like, oh, if Glory leaves, now he's going to come. Toby came, and Toby has been super, has achieved virtually everything all the others have achieved and more. So short put will be out of it in 2028, unless we get somebody who is coming up and there is nobody. So it is still in the 400 meters. Then the sprints, they keep coming. Ajayi is there. Then the surprise package, and I've been told that it's coming because he was injured during the NCAA. That's the Israel Oko. That's the surprise package. Who will win the 200 meters gold for us? I didn't mention him. If he comes and he has become healthy and is in competitive mode, I think he can also win the 200 meters gold, because I've looked at the list. I believe he can run a 19. And running a 19 will be enough to, maybe 19.7 will be enough to win the gold medals. And I think he can do it, because when you look at what happened at the NCAA, if not for that hamstring issue, I think we'll have run a 19.6, and that will have been a new Nigerian record. So we are lucky to have the bunch that we have now. So the main job now is for the NSC, because they are the one that provide the money. I would have said, naturally, it will have been AFN. The AFN don't have money. And it is not the problem of NSC that they don't have money. It is the problem of the leadership, who must make sure that they have the right connection and the contact to bring in sponsors. So I'm forgetting them now. I'm banking on the NSC. And good a thing, I think we have people there now, even though I criticize them a lot, but we have people there now who understand what it is to prepare a team. From what I've seen of this Commonwealth Games preparation, I think I'll score them above 50, maybe above 60. So I think we're in very good hands in terms of getting our priorities right for 2028.
All right, Darius, I want to thank you for your time on the show today. Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time.
When we win the 20 gold medals.
Yes, hopefully when we do. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right, that's Darius for giving us his thoughts. And Bule, I want to get your thoughts as well. From what will likely be the games, I mean, you have to allow your optimism build, listening to Adari and those projections, what will be the gains looking ahead to 2028 from what will likely the bright spots and prospects that could come out of the Commonwealth Games in Glasgow?
Well, first of all, winning puts pressure on the athletes. At the same time, it sends message to those that are not here that will be at the Olympic Games that if I've been underrating Bolu before, if Bolu did well at the Commonwealth Games may not have all the best athletes, but it still have some of the top athletes in the world. It means winning this one sends message to others. And it also puts Nigeria on the global map beyond what we've been before. There are too many things because Commonwealth Games itself is literally an Olympic Games. It's been on for 76 years. Everyone knows, just that it's not for every country to participate in. So, but beyond winning this one, same thing we've said a million times. There has to be a plan. Dari says some key words that, for example, what happens when Toby Amusan is out? By the Olympic Games, she'll be 30-31. What happens post Amusan? This is where plan comes in. There has to be things. I remember the young girl who represented Nigeria at 15 at the last Olympic. What happens? Where is she? There has to be succession plan. This is why for a period we went on sabbatical in table tennis. We came back. Now after Aruna Kodri, we may not have anybody competing for a bit. So these are the things we see every time. I'm optimistic about our competition ahead of this Commonwealth Games. I hope we do the target and even go beyond that. But Olympics is not far off. So many, if not all these athletes, will still compete well at the top level by the Olympic Games. But what happens after that? Commonwealth Games comes in the next 4 years again, and the Olympics will come up in 6 years. Do we have plans beyond the next 2 years?
All right, do we have plans beyond the next 2 years? That's a question, of course, the people in authority we have to answer. Let's talk about the next big thing. It is the Women's African Cup of Nations. And, of course, some things have come out from the information that the Confederation of African Football has put out. I'm going to go across now to reel out some of those things that you most probably would have heard, but let's talk about them on the show tonight. All right, the prize money of the tournament has been increased by 100%. Whoever turns out to be the WAFCON champions, and we're hoping it's going to be the Super Falcons, would earn a prize money of $2 million. It was $1 million the other time. Now it will be $2 million. The prize money for the runner-up has been increased by 50%, and there's going to be $750,000 US. And the prize money for the third place position has also been increased by 43%. All right, these are some of the things that has happened. All right, well, we still have some more tidbits for you. Each of the 16 participating women's national team will receive $150,000 in participation funding. Total money has increased by 495% from $975,000 to $5.8 million. The number of women's national teams participating in the WAFCON has also increased from 8 to 16. Bolu, I want to get your thoughts on this one. Juicy prize money. You can say whatever you want to say about CAF and how they always bend over backwards to FIFA, and how sometimes they take some decisions that make you scratch your head. But in terms of getting revenue and trying to spotlight some of these events, I think I wanted to say Yanni Infantino. I think Patrice Motsepe has done well.
You literally pick those words out of my mouth. I say it every time. You may or may not like Motsepe, but you cannot take away what he has done in terms of finance. And not just every competition since Motsepe became the CAF president.
Every competition on that CAF.
On the CAF. The prize money has increased by at least 50%. I mean, every competition, both the CAF Champions League, the CAF Confederations Cup, on the 17th tournament, the under-8 games, AFCON, WAFCON, there's always an increase in prize money, which sends a message to everyone that there's money in the African scene. There's money in football, and Motsepe is doing just that. If Super Falcons last year thought they won a lot of money with $1 million, well, this is another message to them that you are winning double of what you got last year. I like what some of them are saying. When the Hazel said the competition will be tougher this time, because this one is not just WAFCON. It's also the qualifiers for the World Cup next year. But they are going to do their best way. So credit to CAF, credit to Motsepe. Again, you can criticize them for a whole lot of things. But financially, you have to give credit to Motsepe and his team.
All right, you have to give credit. All right, let's listen to Patrice Motsepe talking about the developments around the WAFCON.
the WAFCON by 900%. It's unbelievable. 900 for the women. And that's why I say to you can make all sorts of promises and say all of these nice things. If you don't back them up with quantifiable, visible, and as they would say, touchable. They want to sort of feel at it, want to touch it. So we've increased the prize money by 900%. Last year, when I became president, the winner of the women's competition got 200,000. And then we got it to 1 million. Now they get 2 million. So you win. We've increased the prize money for the winner by 100%. We've increased the overall, the money that so the winner gets 2 million, which has been increased enormously. And you'll get it, don't worry, you'll get it in the document. But we've also increased by 495%. When the current leadership got into football, the total money that was spent for the women's football on the continent was 975,000. Now it's close to 6 million. And there's still a lot more that we have to do. We did the right thing by not having it. It was supposed to be in February, June, July. So I'm very happy and we are all in CAF very happy and excited that we've done the right thing. Besides, if we had it in February, we wouldn't have been able to significantly increase the prize money as we have now and get lots of focus. Women's football is crucial. And, it should not just be, we shouldn't pay lip service to women's football. We should do more than pay lip service. And a 900% increase in the money we are allocating.
All right, Patrice Motsepe sharing his thoughts. Bolu, we can go on and on and on, but this man has tried his best to rebrand African football. Let's localize this. I hope the NFF, Sports Ministry, everybody is monitoring this. The girls are also watching, so there's more money. So whatever issues with salaries and bonus, it better be sorted. And agreements should be reached, because if these girls go on to win, they will expect to get a juicy part of the pie. And so there has to be an agreement. Where there's an agreement, you can't come out later and say, no, we want this. But I hope all of those things will be sorted out. The nightmarish experience of the last outing, I pray it doesn't grab the headlines. Well, there are already moments from the camp of the women that the $100K that they were promised by the presidency last year has not been given. The national honors, the certificate have not been given. The land either in Abuja or Lagos has not been given. And I remember in December, during the AFCON, the NSC chairman, Shehu Diko, spoke with the players that it's already, at least the certificate and I think the land thing, after they gave the men in first, for the women is under process. I don't think it will take 7 months to process that. When the promise was made last year, one of the things I said was the money will not be given to them like last year, because it's always like an annual budget and all. But at least by 2026, they should get it. We are in June already. And for the certificate, I don't think it should take that long to sign the certificate for them for national honors. But all those things aside, I hope there's, like you mentioned, proper agreement that, guys, this is this. If you win, this is what you get. So don't don't make promises out of excitement. Yes. And I think that's one of the challenges we have. These girls are, take this one. Then you now think back, how do we pay this thing back? And that's what causes delay, that's what causes, but I know the women know what they want. I know they are saying good things. They know themselves that, at least, even if you don't win, make the semi-final. And for this edition, make semi-final first. From semi-final, we can I know there's another back door to qualify for the World Cup. We don't want that back door. No. Make semi-final, then we can now start talking about winning. If all these things are settled, like we are hailing the NSC for the Commonwealth team, I hope we'll hail them for the Super Falcons as well. Because in the end, everything, and you said something, it's also a message to NFF, because this is under the jurisdiction of the NFF. What Motsepe has shown is there's football, there's money in football. And I hope MPFL board and members are also learning from these things. When they say their minimum wage
for salaries in NFF, in MPFL should be 2 million naira. I know someone said they probably don't worth it, but instead of seeing it that way, why not see it in the business angle that, oh, how can we make these players earn 2 million naira each? That's the kind of thing I think we should be thinking of.
That's the kind of mentality we should have.
How to make money, not the other way around. There's money in African football, and NFF, NSC. Let me come look at it and I beg with the beg. Settle every rift or rancor between these girls so they can go home and bring home the 11th official WAFCON for Nigeria.
All right. And trust me, if that happens, there's going to be celebration everywhere. If you thought the last time out was big, if we do it again, it's going to be bigger. And I hope that all issues that might lead to a little bit of disturbance here and there would have been sorted. All right. Still talking about Patrice Motsepe. He's been offering his thoughts on his assessment of the teams that represented the continent as they just concluded FIFA World Cup. Patrice Motsepe says he's impressed with what they've done. Let's listen to him again, sharing his thoughts on how happy he is with the representation Africa got at the Mondial.
Teams in the FIFA World Cup were very proud. I'm very proud. African football is very proud. They did very well. We set very high standards for ourselves. We've got very high expectations. Our clear objective, and we are now more confident than ever before, coming from the FIFA World Cup, is to see an African nation becoming champions of the world. I'm more convinced than ever before. The process is now before CAS, and whatever decision CAS takes, we will respect and implement. I mean, look at what happened at the World Cup. The decisions that referees take, there's always a contestation. What we have to do is to learn from what happened, and we've already passed laws to make sure that what happened in Morocco never happens again. At the World Cup, people from Senegal said, "President, please leave the trophy where it is." People from Morocco say, "President, the decision was taken in our favor." And the point is, I always have to give the same answer, which is, I have to wait for the decision of CAS. I can't give you any other decision or any other response than there's nothing I can do. Legally, ethically, we don't know at this stage where the AFCON is going in 28, 32, and 36. And Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali will have as good a chance as everybody else. They are not going to be disadvantaged or prejudiced by the fact that they're military juntas. But you raise a very important point. The questions of safety and security, and those are questions that we will have to address. But there's no decision that has been taken as to where it will go.
All right, Bolu. I don't know why am I calling Motsepe Infantino? All right, Motsepe said a lot of things. He talked about how happy he was. I guess most of us are happy. But two other issues. From what he has said, it's going to get to a time where the AFCON will be played every 4 years. A lot of us do not like that, but he has alluded to that. Three countries making a joint bid for one of the AFCONs. And incidentally, all of those countries have military leadership. So there are issues there. And the one everybody is expecting him to say something about, who actually won last year's AFCON? And Motsepe said, look, I don't have any answer for you. I'll wait for CAS. Now that the World Cup is gone, maybe CAS will say something. But how do you unpack it? Personally, I'm not pleased to hear, at some point we'll go to 4 years. Again, it seems like we're bending over backwards to Europe. But what are your thoughts on those issues? Well,
the 4-year thing, I never liked it when the suggestion came on board. And, you may not have proof, but I know it came from Infantino. It came from satisfying what the European football body wants. But it makes absolutely no sense. We are not that big yet in Africa to be playing it for 4 years. The AFCON every 2 years has its way of helping African football, especially the players playing locally here in Africa. But they made their decision, so next year will be the next AFCON. After next year, the next one will be 2032. That's where the 3 joint hosts came on board: the Mali, Burkina Faso, and the Niger Republic, all military governing nations. And let me shock you. Mali have 5 CAF accredited stadiums.
Wow.
Mali. We don't have, I think we have only 2. Even the second one we see by, that's the Kenneth Stadium, where almost every Nigeria team playing on the continent wants to feature in now. We are just not ready for these things. And if Infantino can talk about it, I think he's probably ready to give them the hosting rights, the 3 of them and all. But we know military regime or not, it doesn't have anything to do with the football. When it's time, like what many said about the US World Cup, blah, blah, blah. I know we had some issues off the field and all, but the football itself will be played, would enjoy the tournament. I don't
know why Infantino wants to change, because there's also the 64-team World Cup,
no, that is planning. It's happening. For them to start talking about, CONMEBOL wants it. The only reason Casillas gave a suggestion why he thinks he wants the 64, and I agree with him. He said these 48 teams, we played out of the 12 groups, 8 groups will have the 3 teams qualify, best loser at all. Say, but if you go to 64, go back to the tradition. Top 2 teams, that it will increase the competition. Instead of thinking I may pick 3 points and qualify. 2 points, maybe you have to be the top 2 to qualify. And again, there will be more matches to watch, but the teams will still not play more games. If you get to the semi-final, you are still playing 8 matches. So maybe that's why you.
Your thoughts on CAS? Why the suspense? Just give us this decision. Let's know where we stand.
I think that was the disappointment from Infantino. Say it what it is. As of now, Morocco are the African champions. Just say it's not that you don't know. So why did you guys announce that Morocco are the champions if you do not know? What I would have answered is, as of now, based on what our committee of panel said, Morocco are the champions of AFCON.
Unless
exactly.
That's the right answer.
And for CAS, I don't blame them. I'm sure there are still a million cases in front of them. They have to set dates, go a step at a time. But as of now, Morocco are the champions. Many people are already writing Morocco. Anytime you see news about Morocco, you hear the African champions. People may disagree or not, but based on what they told us, whether we like it or not, they are the African champions. So until CAS say otherwise, I want to believe that before the AFCON next year, CAS will give us their final verdict. Because if not, are we going to be calling Senegal defending champions or calling Morocco defending champions? But CAS, I believe, will make their decision before the next AFCON. Then we'll know who we end up calling official champions for the last AFCON.
All right. Well, I don't know how much time we have left, but let's just quickly see if we can talk about, okay, we're not going to be able to do that. Even as we close, let me just quickly say that the German Football Federation Association is expected to announce Jurgen Klopp as the coach of the senior men's national team tomorrow. We'll see how all of that pans out. All right, we've come to the end of the show. We've crossed the finish line. First, I want to thank Bolo Money for his time on the show today. Hopefully, we'll do this again some other time.
It's always a pleasure coming around.
All right, that's the show today. We do hope that you enjoyed everything we've been able to bring to you. Thanks for allowing us into your homes without knocking. It's a privilege we will never take for granted. We'll see you again tomorrow. Yemi Adebayo. Bye-bye now.